Morning, everybody. It's just about 10 o'clock. I've been told that you can't stand in the aisle, so if you can hutch in as much as you can do, otherwise I'll get told off, said he in a Manchester accent. This all feels a bit weird, seeing people in person rather than on Zooms. You now know how tall everybody is because you don't meet them very often face to face. First up is being a bit weird, so hopefully what you're going to see today is interesting. With some luck, I'll hopefully give you some information that is valuable to you. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Alistair Horsburgh, Group Chief Revenue Officer. It's a long title, 35 years in the car industry. I did 18 years in retail, so I think I can talk about how dealerships operate, even though I got out in 2004, if that's a good enough language to use. 10 years with CitNOW. I was the CEO until the summer of this year, and I'll talk about the acquisitions that we've made and why we are where we are today. Now responsible for sales, product, and marketing across the group. And for those football fans in the room, I'm a United fan, so don't laugh. Okay, a little bit about the group. Over the last year, we've been on the acquisition trail. James is somewhere in the room from Dealerweb. Thank you, James, and Steve is here. Thank you to James and Martin. We acquired Dealerweb back in December last year. Been a very, very important part of our business and been extremely successful as we've gone through this digital revolution. And also we launched Tootle at the beginning of the year, and we'll talk more about that as we go through. The most important thing that we've got here is that we brought these portfolio of businesses together designed to help retailers to sell more. So the whole principle about what we do today is simply about enhancing that digital journey and helping retailers to sell more in after sales, but also in sales. So about 20 minutes of me talking, and then I've got Carol going to join me up here and James from Dealerweb, and we'll take any questions that you may have and hopefully try and answer them. So just to try and look back, and I'm not going to talk about these things. These are the things that are out there today. Manufacturing issues we all know about, semiconductors, used car shortages, electrification, agency model, and COVID. You'll be glad to know I'm not going to talk about any of these, but I do think that there is an interesting play that's going on that's caused by all of these situations. And transformation is happening. Some of it's going backwards. So my view is that customers are making inquiries to dealerships because used cars are particularly short in demand, or short in supply, should I say, high in demand. I think that what's happening is that retailers are having some bad habits, making customers come into the showroom to buy cars because they are short in supply, and those habits will stay if retailers don't look at transformation and make sure they listen to what the customers are looking for. So this is about determining the optimal route to help customers to buy, but also making sure that we listen to customers and communicate in the most efficient way, but listen to the way that the customer wants to communicate with the retailer. So we've undertaken some research. It's the 4th year we've done it. We've asked 1,000 car buyers the same set of questions, and I'm going to give you some results from those questions, some of which you're going to go, I know that, Alistair, but hopefully some of it is somewhat insightful, and if you can walk away from here with 1 or 2 ideas that will help you to either maintain your digital environment or your customer digital journey or enhance it, then hopefully that's been of value for you listening to me waffling on today. So 1,000 customers asked the question. These are the challenges that we believe if you don't have one of these, you've probably got all of these today. So bridging this digital to physical gap, meeting the customer's expectations. Some of that is also about making sure that the customer is comfortable to buy in the environment that you're offering. Increasing customer trust, accurate part exchange appraisals, and maintaining customer loyalty. I'm going to talk about each of these individually, and each of these will be, there'll be some KPIs and there's some statistics and data that's come out of the 1,000 customers that we've asked. So, first one, bridging the physical to digital. So what do we mean by this? This is about, obviously, the way that the customer moves from the online journey to the physical presence. We've all had COVID. We know that it's made a difference. There are certainly pockets of this year and last year when retailers have been closed, and what we've had to do accept that customers can only buy or only interact with a dealership via a method that we've got, whether it's live chat, whether it's video, whether it's telephone, email, however it is. And the most important thing that we found with bridging physical to digital is about looking at what the customer is wanting to, in other words, the way the customer wants to communicate. So, no surprise, 87% of car buyers researching on a dealership or a manufacturer website. That's where they're starting. No surprises there, I know that. And actually, that's a 10% increase on our 2020 research. Again, probably no surprises because customers were sat at home. So a strong dealership website is absolutely key. Again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But these were the most valued online assets that customers were looking for when we asked the question. So top in order, interior and exterior images, high quality images, and a video of the interior of the car. So it's important that we efficiently and effectively gather those images. Now, of course, we've got platforms that we can do that with. At the end of the day, you can take photographs, you can take high quality digital SLR photographs, you can take them on an iPhone or an iPod, but using tools like CitNOW Web, you can get all of these products, all of these images, all the video, interior and exterior 360, up onto your website within minutes. And in order to be able to do that, these are some of the integrations that we've got. We mentioned CitNOW and Dealerweb at the top, but integrations into the G-Forces platform, utilizing Modix to plug into the manufacturer platforms, and then AutoTrader, Motors, Salesmaster, et cetera, et cetera. So our view is that no one supplier can do everything for you, our opinion. We like to work with the best. We've got good working relationships with these vendors, these suppliers, and it's important that we give best in class. And as a result of that, we try to make sure that we've got the best in class as much as we possibly can do. So, meeting customers' expectations. I think when the customers hear from you, if I listen to what goes on today, and I understand the whole supply and demand piece, but when a customer makes an inquiry to a dealership, what's the acceptable response time? Now, it's quite interesting, I think, when you ask customers, what do they think they expect, what do they expect in terms of a response time? And this was what they said. They said that 27% were expecting a response between 1 and 3 hours. 22% were expecting the same working day, and 24% were expecting within 30 minutes. When I was in retail, I'll be honest with you, I think if you don't respond within an hour, I think you're missing a trick. Now, again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I know that furloughing staff has been a challenge. I know that inbound inquiries and making sure that you can handle them properly with the right people is also a challenge. But with the team at Dealerweb, what we've done is we've taken a look at the response time, and quite frankly, when we plug Dealerweb React into dealerships, what we've seen is an average of an 11% response time. And by doing that, we smash all of these targets. Whether you use Dealerweb React or whether you use a lead management platform, making sure that you are responding to a customer as quickly as you can do. And okay, 7% said immediately they're looking for a response. I think we're all impatient. I think we all sit there and we go, hit the button, I'm waiting for a phone call. I don't know whether anybody's bought a Tesla. So if anybody's bought a Tesla maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I know there's a couple of people in the room that I think have done. When you push the button to buy the Tesla and you've got part exchange, the phone rings immediately. Now, I know there's software out there that can do that for you, but actually being able to pick up the phone or listen to what the customer's expectations are and respond to the customer in a timely manner, phoning the customer straight away, sending a video to the customer presentation of the vehicle that they've made an inquiry on is key. So make it timely. And again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but I think that even when we research customers today and we listen to what they're talking about, there's still not a fast enough response time. So, the personal touch. I'm a bit old school. I know that in a digital world, we expect customers to buy online. You don't need me to name retailers out there, or certainly platforms out there that are advocating everybody should buy everything online. I still think that people buy from people, and the personal touch is the most important thing. And as far as we're concerned, when we did the research, 50% of those car buyers, they wanted the in-person interaction. That's what they were looking for. So we don't think that showrooms are going anywhere for a very long time. But using video to help encourage customers to visit the showroom, or using video in the other 50% for those customers that don't want to visit the showroom, is really, really important. we found that when you ask customers the question, they won't tell you that they don't want to come to the showroom because they're fearful, they're afraid of what COVID is. They'll just tell you that they don't want to come to the showroom. Now, we think it's wrong that if you force a customer to come to the showroom because you've got the only used car that they've got and you have to value the part exchange that way. It may well be that that's the way that you do it today because the customer has got no choice. There are no other vehicles out there and you've got to get the customer into the showroom, but they'll remember that the next time they buy a car. So our advice is to try and work with the customer and at least give them the choice of which way they want to communicate with the retailer. 72% of these customers who were under the age of 45 said that they would buy a vehicle if they received a personalized video first. 72% of under 45-year-olds said they would buy the vehicle if they got the video first. Okay, you don't have to send a CitNOW video, but send a video to the customer because it's part and parcel of the most important thing. So, how do you know if the customer wants to visit the showroom? I think you ask them. I think it's really difficult. I don't think they're actually going to say, I'm frightened to come to the showroom. I don't think they're going to. They probably will use an excuse. They'll probably say, I'm too far away. They'll use an excuse to say, I need to have a part exchange valuation. They'll try to work out what it is that they need to say to you or to the retailer to give them a price over the phone. I do think that you've got to listen to what the customer wants and what the customer needs. I think it's really, really important because I think they'll tell their friends, they'll tell their relatives, and they will talk about the purchase experience that they've had. So we've seen, as we've already said, 50% of those customers that want to visit the showroom, but it's about the 50% that don't. And our opinion is don't force them, don't bring them into the showroom, don't say you have to visit the showroom because we need to value your part exchange. Try and make sure you interact with that customer in the channel they want to be interacted with. We think it's really, really important. 41% of car buyers more likely to buy a vehicle after receiving a personalized video. I said before, 72% of those over 45. This survey of 1,000 people was 55% female, 45% male. Reasonably accurate demographic, lost people under the age of 30, and pretty widespread across the UK. So there's no real, we didn't have a big London conurbation of this or Northwest or wherever. But we've said before, we passionately believe, and we have done for the last 12 years, passionately believe in the use of video. I do think that people get lazy, and I would say to you, tell you a couple of stories. So if a customer walked onto your forecourt today, how much time would you spend with them? How much time would you spend opening the car up, trying to persuade them to have a test drive, walking them around the vehicle, showing them the features that might be interesting to them? And yet when a sales exec's possibly asked or made to go and do a video for an inbound inquiry, some of them just do 60 seconds. And personally, I think it's not good enough. I think that the customer deserves something a bit more. And if, our average customer may well get a video that's 3 to 5 minutes long, but I've seen sales execs doing 15-minute videos. And we used to go and say, why are you doing a 15-minute video? And the sales exec in question was actually worked at Halliwell Jones at Southport. And he said, because I convert 75% of my customers into sales. You can't argue with that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should do a 15-minute sales video. You do have to be able to talk, and it's all about monologue, because there's nobody responding to you. So do make sure that you've got something to talk about, and also make sure that when the customer's made the inquiry, you know why they made the inquiry for that vehicle. Is it because of the 19-inch alloys? Is it because of the panoramic roof? Is it because of the rear load cover? What is it for? What's the most important features? What should you be listening to from the customer? So when we've looked at case studies, you can pick apart every case study. You can look at the technology that we use and satisfy yourself. Why would I use video on an inbound inquiry? What would it be for? We've got an integration into Dealerweb showroom system. So if you're using a showroom management system like Dealerweb and you're tracking all of your inbound inquiries, you can actually request a CitNOW video straight through the Dealerweb platform. It sends it straight to the CitNOW device. Sales exec doesn't need to enter any information. All the information goes straight into the app. You can go and record a video, push the button, and we send it straight to the customer. It's all seamless. Now, we can do that through the React platform, so if you're using it from a lead management software, or whether you're using it from a showroom software perspective, we'll do both. And we can take some questions on that at the end if you'd like to do so. Okay, increasing customer trust. I think that this is where the danger area is in today's society, where you've got supply and demand the wrong way around, or maybe we should say the right way around because people are making more money, is I think that the trust element will go out the window if you don't try a little bit harder for those customers that are in your showroom or on the phone or on an email talking to you because you think it's too easy to sell the car because there's plenty of customers. I still believe that that customer trust is built up over time. I think if you're a local retailer and you've got a customer that's inquiring locally, I think you should try as hard as you possibly can do to make sure you instill the brand values of your dealership, the franchise that you operate with, the dealer group that you work with, and make sure that that customer and the financial commitment that they're giving or showing towards buying that vehicle, I think is really, really important. So we all know second biggest commercial purchase they're ever going to make. So make sure that it's something that allows the customer to trust. And just some simple basic things, smiling at the customer, making it a nice experience for the customer, and being predictable around having a nice experience for that customer to go through. So 84% of car buyers found video as a valuable part of their experience. So overall, if you're not sending a video of any, whether it's sending it via WhatsApp, whether you're sending it via CitNOW, whether you're sending it via another platform, if you're not sending a video to an inbound inquiry, you're missing out on 85% of what the customer's looking for. So what we've seen is an upsurge. So lockdown 3 would that have been, so January through to March, well, just late December through to the end of March. We peaked, our video volume went up 25% in the month of March, which it normally does. March and September we would peak because of new car registrations, but a massive peak in March this year, 25% up to 1.25 million videos in the month of March. And the majority of those videos coming out of the UK. So I think it's fair to say that if you can surprise and delight the customer by making sure that you've got enough information in that video to persuade the customer that you're the right person, so make sure you do put the camera on yourself. There's no place for vanity anymore. If you don't like what you look like or what you sound like, then you're probably in the wrong industry, because that's what we deal with customers every day. We launched desktop sharing as part and parcel of the CitNOW platform back in March, April this year, which allows you to use our live video platform and share your desktop. So if you're trying to stack a deal, if you're trying to show a customer how to configure a new vehicle or a used vehicle, or you're trying to do something with a finance quote, you can share the screen that you're looking at, do it live with the customer, and have them interacting with you. They can do it on a mobile phone, on a laptop, on a tablet. They don't need any software. And you can start it all from the existing CitNOW app today. Live video, I think, it's probably got a place. I'm not entirely sure that it's front and center. We started out as a live video platform back in 2008, definitely ahead of its time. And I think that live video today is probably used more for us FaceTiming our family than it possibly is from a commercial perspective. But it's there to offer those customers that want it and need it, and possibly who can't visit the showroom or don't want to visit the showroom, to be able to make sure you can inform them, update them, whatever it needs to be, even if it's a simple walk around the forecourt, introduce them to the service department. Whatever it is that you need to do is make sure you get some content in front of the customer. And I think we've all got these wonderful, great big dealerships. Why not show them off? Why not make sure that as part and parcel of the handover process, that you're at least doing a video around the dealership, showing the customer where the service department is, if they do come back to the dealership for any reason, exactly where to go, because they may never have been before. But if you don't show them, the chances are they may never come back. So the opposite side of this, what do customers dislike? Well, I guess it's no surprise. They don't like to negotiate on price, although there is a small percentage of people that really do like the negotiation. Sales pressure, again, no surprises really. Finding the right car, traveling long distances, and part exchange negotiation. So one of the very first things we found out of price negotiation, specifically on used cars, was that if you sent a video before you spoke to the customer about what they want to do next, you took away or certainly mitigated a lot of the price conversations. What we found was, and it's the only thing the customer knows what to do. You're on the phone to the customer about the part exchange, about the car that they're interested in. The first thing they want to say is, how much for cash? How much is my part exchange worth? What can you do for me, et cetera, et cetera? What are the finance figures, et cetera, et cetera? So sending a video, putting value ahead of price, making sure that you show the customer exactly what the car looks like, the condition of the vehicle, is going to go an awful long way to helping you with that price negotiation point. And ask any salesperson that is recording a good volume of CitNOW videos or any kind of videos, sending them to every inquiry, they'll say the same thing. It's absolutely front and center. So, onto the part exchange. Back in the late 90s, yes, that's a long time ago, part exchanges, everybody would drive onto the forecourt. But today, we already know customers won't all drive onto the forecourt. And actually, the first thing they really want to know about is that what's their part exchange worth. Now, I'm a bit old school here because what we've decided we brought Tootle back to the business or back into circulation at the beginning of this year simply because we think that the average franchise dealer is losing out on the ability to acquire part exchanges. You're just losing them. They're losing them to Auto Trader. They're going off to We Buy Any Car. They're going off to Whizzle, wherever it is they're going to. They're going to a different vendor, and you're not getting the benefit of any profit that can come from that. And customers need to have a part exchange process that's easy. If they don't, they're just going to go somewhere else. They'll think that it's easier to go and sell their car privately or go and sell it through a different platform rather than bring it in part exchange. So what we saw was 57% of car buyers are more inclined to buy from a dealership with a part exchange offer made first. 57%. So of those customers, 1,000 customers we asked, 570 of them said that. So if you're not prepared to offer a part exchange valuation without seeing the car in person, the chances are you're probably missing out on some opportunities. Now, it's all very well and good because I've been there. What do you say? The salesman walks into the manager's office, boss, I've got a car, customer on the phone, wants to know how much this car's worth. And of course, the manager goes, I want to see it. Well, you can't see everything. You just can't see it. So what we did, we brought Tootle back. Tootle is not a We Buy Any Car. Tootle is not an Auto Trader trying to take your stock away from you. Tootle is integrated into CitNOW, soon to be integrated into Dealerweb, and what it does is it's a part exchange appraisal tool. It simply allows you, when you send a CitNOW video, to click on a link at the bottom of the video and take the customer through a journey. And that journey simply is, enter my registration number, put some information in there. The customer can even say, some people will disagree with this, some people will agree. They'll even say what they want for their car. And we'll tell them whether it's plus or minus, whether the car is worth what we think it's worth. And we won't let them put a silly figure in. We'll let them think about whether that price is correct. You don't have to have that feature enabled. You can just let the customer enter their information, and all of the photographs and all of the videos that are attached to the Tootle environment get sent back to the sales manager or to the sales exec, and you can carry out a more accurate valuation because you've seen the car, you've got photographs, you've got a video, you've got more information than you did without seeing it. So, maintaining customer loyalty. If we look beyond the sale, what can we do with customer loyalty? This is about digital after sales. I know we're talking mainly about sales process here, but unless you keep the customers throughout the after sales journey, the chances are they won't come back. So, 70% of customers value the transparency video provides in the workshop. And it's not just about receiving a video, it's about making sure that the content of that video is informative. It helps the customer to make a decision, even if there's nothing wrong with the car. Chances are the customer's never seen their car on a ramp. Take a video, show them there's nothing wrong with it, and carry on. I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to be quick. Some integrations that we've got with our after-sales environment. Keyloop chaps are here today. We've got integration with Keyloop. We're one of their preferred partners. We're about 400 or 500 integrations live with Keyloop, Pinewood, Bumper, RTC, etc., etc. So, and again, we don't believe that everybody has everything. Our view from working with all the vehicle health check providers is we provide an umbrella of video across whichever vendor you choose to use. Now, some of these people have got their own video platform. Yes, they have. But we believe that we can offer a more tailored solution to the average retailer and put all video under one umbrella for them. So, my summary, before I ask some colleagues to come join me for some questions. Treat the digital and in-person experience with equal importance. If you don't, the chances are the customer is just going to go, I don't care. They've only given me 60 seconds of video, but you might give them half an hour on the forecourt if they turn up. take the dealership to the customer. Make it easy and make it memorable and use the right technology. Whatever that technology is, make sure you use the right technology. So, I'm going to take some questions if anybody would like to ask some questions. I've got James from Dealerweb and Carol, our Chief Customer Officer from CitNOW, going to come up here. We may have no questions, I don't know, and there's somebody around with a big boom if somebody's got any questions. Anybody going to kick us off? This could be a very short Q&A. Here we go. Question over here, please. It had to be the furthest away. Whilst we're doing that, stand C10, which is just on the other side of the yellow boards here, is where we are as a group. Feel free to come over to us and ask us any questions.
So your question around response times, or
yes.
Your statement at the beginning, 27% 1 to 3 hours and 24% less than 30 minutes. Did you find that customers' expectations were different depending on the time of day that they would be inquiring?
So I'm going to ask James to respond from a React perspective rather than a video point of view. So, do you hear the question?
Yeah, I mean, the research didn't specifically ask those questions, but we do see peaks and troughs throughout the day in terms of certainly customers submitting leads. So there's a spike at around about 7:30, 8 in the morning, then again around about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then around about 7:30 in the evening. So those are the peaks in terms of customers clicking buttons on websites to submit leads from Auto Trader, wherever the lead source might be.
We've got the question. The question needs to be extended.
On that basis, are customers expecting a different response time depending when they inquire? So if they're inquiring at 6 o'clock in the evening, are they accepting of a response at 9 o'clock the next morning, or do they want a response that evening?
I think it's a fair question. I think it depends. So some retailers have got longer hours, they're open, they've got call centers, they've got live chat environments. The research that we've got and some of the statistics is based upon normal opening working hours. I do think that I think everybody's impatient, honestly. I think if they push a button at 7 o'clock at night, they expect somebody to respond. That's what they do, whether we like it or we don't like it. So I think some retailers will extend opening hours, they'll extend the call center hours to suit. And I think actually, if I'm honest with you, if you probably don't think about that in the future, you're probably going to lose out on some opportunities. I think we've probably got enough time to answer 1 or 2 more questions if anybody else is out there. Thank you. We're going to keep you fit today.
Hi, what do you think the impact will be of agency or direct sales on the digital experience?
So I can only give you my opinion, and my opinion is my opinion, not necessarily that of the groups. Is that a good enough exclaimer? I think that agency is going to be a bit of a nuclear explosion within some manufacturer environments. I honestly don't think it'll be around forever. I think it'll be a short-term thing, my personal opinion. But I do think it'll make a difference because the average manufacturer will probably want to have some kind of seamless digital journey that everybody uses, either the same tools or similar tools. And I do think that we're already starting to see it now with some manufacturers who are mandating certain solutions. Don't necessarily like the idea of that, but we do know that manufacturers will be more in control of what digital technology is used. I'm not entirely sure they're going to physically mandate everything, but I think in the margin that the retailers get paid, they'll be expected to spend some of that on marketing. Sorry, anything else to add to that? Anybody else? Okay, well, we'll call it a wrap. Thank you very much, everybody. I much appreciated your time this morning. Thank you.